Watching RTE One, where we now join Sharon Violan for this evening's Six-One. Good evening, welcome to Six-One. The headlines. London hopes to prevent a fourth night of riots as the city counts the cost.
This is criminality, pure and simple, and it has to be confronted and defeated.
After days of financial turmoil, world markets recover some of their heavy losses. And a promise of 200 jobs in West Dublin as PayPal expands its European centre. More than 16,000 police officers are being deployed on the streets of London to try and prevent a fourth night of violence and looting. Rioting extended to other cities, including Birmingham and Liverpool last night. All police leave has been cancelled and the force is considering the use of plastic bullets. Parliament has been recalled for one day on Thursday in response to the crisis.
Today, London is tense as police officers flood into areas caught up in last night's riots across the British capital. People cleared the streets after the worst violence seen in over a quarter of a century and the most widespread, stretching as far as Birmingham and Liverpool, prompting the British Prime Minister to return from holiday in Italy and appear at least to take charge, with a statement outside Downing Street condemning the violence and recalling Parliament.
People should be in no doubt that we will do everything necessary to restore order to Britain's streets and to make them safe for the law-abiding.
The Mayor of London too was out on the streets of the city, having cut short his holiday. Rioters would be caught and punished, he told these shopkeepers in Clapham, South London. But they wanted to know where the police were last night.
You talk about robust policing, what does that actually mean?
Tonight we're going to have a huge number of police in the streets.
Where were they? At 5 o'clock we knew they were going to hit and no one was there.
The police came in for strong criticism because as buildings were attacked and burned in areas like here in Clapham, they appeared powerless to stop it. Such was the scale of the activity they faced. Tonight, they say, there will be 16,000 officers on the streets of London. Some living in the areas worst affected, though, feel more is needed than just a law and order response.
Yeah, we're going to pull it full force of the law on you, we're going to make sure you get a maximum jail time and all of that. I don't think that actually basically will solve the issue.
I think we need to acknowledge that we don't have a community and that we need to create a community.
Last night, police say over 300 were arrested. Politicians have promised they will be prosecuted, regardless of age. London now holding its breath as police and communities wait to see what happens next. Ray Kennedy, RTE News, London.
The British insurance industry has said the cost of the damage from the riots could run to tens of millions of pounds. The violence has seen businesses, homes, vehicles and people targeted for the past 3 nights.
Another night of chaos on the streets of London. Another day of heartbreak for the people who've seen their businesses go up in smoke. And their homes too. A woman in Croydon was forced to jump from a burning building into the arms of waiting firefighters.
It was just sheer chaos. The heat from the flames, I was trying to take photographs, was just really intense. So that woman was so close, so for her to have jumped down and to have been so close to those flames, it must have just been burning their skin.
Just around the corner, a piece of local history razed to the ground. This furniture shop had been run by the same family for almost 150 years. Its destruction took just an hour.
It survived the wars, 2 great wars, First World War, Second World War, the 1930s Depression. Yet this happens and we don't understand.
Small shops and big business names both have been affected. But last night's looting took a more sinister turn. This unverified amateur footage reportedly shows an injured youth initially being helped by his peers before they rob him instead. While the riots have sparked the worst in some, they brought out the best in others. Mass cleanups have been organised on social media sites, with hundreds of volunteers gathering across the city.
People felt very powerless last night, and I think that feeling of powerlessness is some of what they want to do this morning in helping the clear-up is about addressing that.
As these Londoners reclaim their streets by day, they're hoping they won't be taken from them again come nightfall. Yvonne Redmond, RTE News.
Let's cross over to Ray Kennedy now, who joins us from our London studio. Some of the human stories there. Ray, how tense are things tonight, and are people in any way confident that that massive deployment of police could avert this going into a fourth night?
We're certainly glad to see a massive deployment of the police. A lot of criticism for what they perceived as a softly and almost detached response from the police last night. Of course, there are very few cities that are as well policed as London, and perhaps there are very few cities that could have dealt with violence on such a widespread scale as London did last night. But the question for the city now is whether or not the feeling of anger that exists in some of the communities across London has now been vented. If it has not been vented, then they are...
And Ray, you've been on the ground gauging reaction to all of this. You've been talking to those affected, talking to the communities. What have they been telling you?
Yes, we met lots of people in South Clapham today, for instance. Their feeling was that this had been brewing. It was, of course, sparked by the killing of Mr. Mark Duggan, and some of the tension now has been added to by the IPCC report saying that allegations of him having a firearm that was used against police there were not true, the firearm was not used. That's adding in a little bit to the tension. But what the community are saying is that that was a spark that lit the flame, and that work is now needed across London and across some of the deprived communities in the United Kingdom to create a community spirit, to bring all of the disaffected groups in all those different sections of society in the UK together for a national conversation to see why society in Britain has reached this stage where the capital itself faced such violence last night, and how that can be prevented in the future.
The moment, Ray Kennedy in London. Thank you. Several European stock markets